Welcome to my channel, Mari the Dressmaker. I am Mari and I sew things. Today I want to show you how to make a half circle wrap skirt. It's a super easy to make skirt and I want to show you how to make the pattern and how to sew it. So I have this beautiful fabric. It's a viscose with a beautiful texture and drape, which makes it perfect for my skirt. So let's grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's get on with sewing this skirt. So for this project you'll need two measurements, the waist circumference and from the waist the length of the skirt. Starting with the waist circumference, grab a measuring tape, put it around your waist and measure. So I have 70 centimeters. I will add a little bit of extra for the wrapping part. So I will go until 85 centimeters. And for the length of the skirt, measure from your waistline down. Also take into consideration that we'll have a 4 centimeter waistband. Mine will be 76 and with 4 centimeters 80. So take your waist circumference measurement, which mine is 85, and I will divide it by pi 3.14 equals 27. So this is my radius, and I will measure my fabric from this point, radius 27 centimeters. And I will go from this point, my length of my skirt, which is 76 centimeters, and I will go around, measuring from my curved line, 76 centimeters, 76, and it will be like this. You have to put this on full fabric, this edge, and depending on the length of your skirt and the width of your fabric, you can cut it on the lengthwise grain or on the crosswise grain. And now that we have figured out the pattern, let's cut the fabric. Because I want to make a long skirt, I will cut it on the crosswise grain. So this is my lengthwise grain, and I will fold it this way. So here's my fabric on fold, and I will make my radius here. From this point I will measure 27 and mark. I will keep a finger here and move my measuring tape, mark at 27. Another mark here, another mark here, and another mark here. Yeah, so I will cut my fabric here, and from this point you have to measure your length and go around to make a half circle. So now that we have finished cutting the pattern, gently handle it because it's cut on the bias and it will stretch. Now let's move on with making the waistband. The waistband will be your waist circumference plus 2 centimeters for seam allowance, and the width of the waistband will be 11 or 12 centimeters. And you'll have to cut the same measurement on the interfacing as well. We will also make a long bias tape. The bias tape is the fabric folded on 45-degree angle. So grab your fabric from one corner and place it on the 45-degree angle. So cut strips of 3 centimeters wide.
Welcome to day 2 of sewing this skirt. Yesterday I finished cutting my pattern, the waistband, the skirt and the bias tape, and today I am going to sew it. So let's grab the cup of coffee and let's get on with sewing the skirt. We will start with the skirt. So we will finish the edges of the skirt by double folding the edge. Because my fabric is kind of slippery, I will first fold and stitch and then fold it once again and stitch right on the first seam that I will make.
Now let's press the seams that we have just stitched. And we will also do the waistband now. So take your waistband and your interfacing and apply the interfacing with the sticky side on the wrong side of the fabric. Now fold your waistband in half and press it. Open your waistband and press one edge about 1 centimeter up. Now we will stitch the waistband to the skirt. Fold the skirt in half and mark here. Fold also the waistband in half and mark your middle. Now pin the waistband to the right side of the skirt on the unpressed folded edge, matching your notches. Take the side of the waistband and put it to the side of the skirt, making sure that the waistband is sticking out a little bit to have a neat finish later. And now your skirt is slightly curved, so you'll have to distribute this evenly on the waistband. Now we'll sew this edge. To make the bias tape, fold it like so and stitch about 4 millimeters away from the raw edge.
stitching the second bias tape. Using the loop turner, turn the bias tape on the right side. Place one end of the bias tape right on the middle of your waistband. Pin it in place, and next fold your waistband over and stitch right here. Off this edge. You can also trim off the seam allowance. And the corner. And fold it over. Do the same on the other side. Now let's finish the waistband. I am on the right side of my skirt, pinning the waistband, making sure that the raw edge is covered by the waistband inside of the skirt. So pin it all the way. So I will stitch on the inside of the skirt about 1 millimeter away from the edge. For the hem, we need to hang the skirt for several hours or overnight on a hanger on a dress form. So to stretch it out, because it's cut on the bias and it has to stretch out the fabric, and then we'll measure and cut the final length of the skirt. I will leave my skirt on my dress form overnight to stretch it out. This is day 3 of sewing this skirt. So what we have to do is make the hem and do the buttonhole. So my method to hem a circle skirt is this. I fold it in half, then fold it once again in half, and your waistband should be perfectly aligned. Then I put it on my table, and then you should have your fabric as neat as possible. Should be straight, straight, straight. Now from the top of the waistband, measure your desired length and mark it at the bottom. Slightly move your skirt and the next step is to try it on to see if you've cut it even.
So to make the baby hem, start by folding once your bottom of the skirt. And stitch all the way.
Now take a sharp scissor and cut the edge right next to the stitch. Carefully cut it, so you want to cut the stitch itself. Now fold your fabric once again and stitch right on your first seam. Now let's make the buttonhole. To make the buttonhole, put your skirt on and see where you want to pass this through. And here I will make a small buttonhole. So to make my buttonhole, I am using my sewing domestic machine, and I have on it the function to make the buttonholes, so I'll use that function. So this is it. I will use my scissor to cut through. Let's try it on to see what it looks like. So this is my skirt, this is the final result. I like it so much, it's very flowy. And you can wear it like this with the bias to the buttonhole. Maybe if you have a crop top, you can tie your strips like this. I hope you like this video and the result. If so, please support my channel with a like and subscribe for more sewing videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!